Hey guys, Stitching May here. Just gonna do a quick video update and show you my progress. This is just a progress video. I will be making another video shortly. Hopefully in the next few days I should have the stand that my dad made me to where I can kind of show that to you guys. Apparently this thing has grown. Not necessarily in size, but in like functions. I just had told him I needed like a lap table that was open to where I could sit my stand on it and stitch, and apparently he's made folding legs and a lifting thing that slants. I don't even know. He's kind of told me over the phone. I can't even imagine what it entails. I've got to go for some measurement on how high I want it to slant. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully he said that wouldn't take long, and that's the last thing he has to do and it will be done. The man is amazing. He's one of the guys that can see, you know, a few pieces of wood sitting there and make something out of it. But he's like me. I get that from him, where I start a lot of projects and then I don't necessarily finish them. I can get these huge big ideas and I start them and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm bored now. I see it's gonna work and I'm bored. So he does that sometimes too. So I'm really excited that this, you know, that he's actually gone through with this, and I think my stepmom's kind of been pressuring him to finish it. And then I've got a small haul from 123 Stitch. Literally, like, I think when I was ordering a one of those whole scalers, and you know, a pattern or so fell in my cart. So I'll show that and the stand. And then there've been some questions about my Millennium Frame. I'll try to answer those on the next video. This one's just going to be all about my progress. As far as stitching goes this month, it's been really good. I've actually gotten a lot of stitching done. Don't know why I'm saying so much today. I'll stop that. That drives me crazy. But I've worked on every single one of my rotations, and I'm still working on my 99 bottles, this week. So I'll start with the progress. This is my co-workers. My dog is whining right next to the camera for some reason. I don't know if you can hear him or not. But this is the verse for my co-worker. All I have left, really, after I get through stitching this word heaven, that will be the very last full page. The rest of these pages, as you can see, are just down here at the bottom, and none of them are half pages. I think one page isn't even like a whole. I think it's got like 3 stitches on it. But can you hear my son singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" to my sister? Yeah, he's hyper today. But I've got like 4 half pages, which to me, I'm telling myself that's only 2 more pages, and they're not even whole pages. So I'm getting closer, and it's getting a lot easier to stitch. I think I finally reached where I was whenever it messed up. So this is all new stitching, so it's happening a little quicker. Can you hear him? He's singing away. He loves to sing. If you can't hear him, I'm a fucking idiot asking you if you can hear him. And here is my woodland sample. Wow, that was last year. Wait, I think I need to hold this up longer. I get in trouble for not holding it up long enough. But there that is. And somebody on one of my groups, I've joined a great new group. It's called Cross Stitch and Discuss 2. And it's a very active group. It's a Facebook group. It is a private group. Admins have to add you in. I don't know if they're still taking new members. I think we are. I think they are. I'm not aware because I don't own the group. But it's a really neat group. And they were actually doing little videos on Facebook. I never thought about doing the little video updates. You know, it's really neat though. I think there are some new YouTubers through that, because when they finally got brave enough to post their videos, I was like, okay, now if you're brave enough to do that, you need to do YouTube. So, but anyway, I digress. They were talking about doing a black and white, and how there are random colors of blue and stuff, and they were worried about it. And this one is one that I was worried about too when I first started, because if you look really close, it's got like pinks and grays and greens, and I was like, I didn't want pinks and grays and greens. I wanted like just browns and blacks. But when you pull it back, the all together picture, you really can't tell that it's not, like, it kind of blends in. I think whenever I work on a project and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at each individual X, I have to kind of step back and look at it from a distance sometimes to remind myself that it is going to blend, even if the colors don't seem like they're blending at the time. There's that one. I think that was long enough. Okay, now this is the mystery sampler, the Halloween mystery sampler by AAN. And it's getting rather large. I cannot believe I've been working on this for next month will be the 5th month. It seems like this year has flown by. It seems like yesterday that I was waiting for the first pattern release. But this has been a lot of fun to stitch. I've had some problem areas. There are some things I've had to tweak on my own because I messed up and I just was not going to unpick it. There are 4 parts in this. Like part 1 was here, part 2 was rather large, and then part 3 was kind of small, and part 4 was very small. It was just this little bitty bit. The next part is going to be another large part. I think it's going to come from about here to about here. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that high, but I know it's going to be that wide. The cool thing is, though, this time is that we get the pattern in June, and then in July we have an off month. Alessandra has said that she's going to give us some more freebies in the group, in the mystery group, that there's going to be a lot of goodies. I assume that means some freebies. I don't know. I know she's already given us at least one freebie. A little pumpkin that went with this that matched these pumpkins. It was just like a larger version. But, so even though it's going to be a large part, I'll have 2 months to stitch it. So I won't have to worry as much about getting it done that month. So hopefully I'll be able to, again, stick to my rotation. I've really enjoyed stitching again this month. I really feel like I've gotten some stuff done. But there's that. I'm trying to hold this up long enough where you can see it. And I've got a piece of frayed fabric on my ring over here. But there's that. And then my Christmas cardinal ball, which is also an Alessandra Adelaide, or AAN. I finally finished the ribbon part up here at the top on this page. I've moved on to the second page. The first page is finished. And I've moved on to the second page, which is down here at the bottom. I really like the silver ribbon with the silver metallics. And I've gotten so many compliments on this fabric. And the bad thing is I have no clue what brand it is. It was at the little needle shop in Pigeon Forge called Dixie Darlings. We were on vacation and I walked in and it was there and it said 18 count Ada white and silver. That's all it said. It didn't say who it was made by or anything. I do know they take phone orders and they also take internet orders. They've got like a merchant mall thing and they'll do home delivery. And it's Dixie Darling. But there's that. I did have to frog some down here. I got a weird little off some and it's showing red still, but I haven't used, I've got a, they've got those boo-boo erasers where you brush it with the brush and it takes off the little fuzzies whenever you unpick. And I use a toothbrush that my dentist gave me it's a soft toothbrush and I don't use soft bristle toothbrushes, so I use that for this. I cheat and use that as my boo-boo stick, boo-boo eraser. But I haven't done that yet. I'm thinking that it's just fuzzies, that's why it's showing red. This metallic, when you unpick, really grabs the floss and pulls at it. But there that is, about a third of the way down on that. Arms are getting tired. Pieces are getting bigger and bigger and harder to hold up. Okay. And then last and definitely not least is my husband's 99. I call it 99 bottles. I think it's technically called 99. Just plain 99. See, there's little fuzzies everywhere. By Ink Circles, and this again is on my Millennium Frame, and I am using my little covers that I got in my last haul at the my little needlework. That's my needle. I'm holding my spot. But I was to, I think, half of this bottle, because my husband was laughing that I had 13 and a half bottles. So yeah, I was right here, about here on this bottle. So I've done all of this, the rest of this bottle, this whole bottle, and then this one. My goal is this, there's 2 more bottles. So my goal is to finish this bottle and these next 2 bottles And oh, I finished the top of this shelf, because once I finish these 3 bottles and a little bit of this little black thing on here, this first page will be done. I sat down last night and wrote down with each bottle the name of the beer, because I was tired of having to look it up. So I wrote on top of the pattern, I wrote each beer brand name, and there are some interesting ones. I figured I could even like look them up and find out about them and that kind of thing, or make that a thing for my husband to do, look it up and find out about the beers. But that's really that. Not a lot there. And each one of these bottles is roughly 100 stitches, give or take, depending on how tall or thin or fat the bottle is. And so I've got, if I finish this by the end of this week like I want to, or make my goal, that's about 300 more stitches. On that group that I was telling you about, the cross stitch and discuss too, we do a weekly challenge or like a weekend challenge, and you've got so much time to so much time, and you show how much progress. And I have to say that's kind of helped me stitch some more, because I want to really show off my progress. But there that is. That's that progress. And like I said, I'm really impressed that I've gotten this much stitching. There was a while that I couldn't get anything. The only thing I could work on was that Halloween design. And I wasn't getting a lot of other stuff done. It was a crazy few months between my son's surgery and then us being sick, and then work's been crazy. And so when I was coming home, I just didn't feel like doing, really anything. But my husband and I have gotten into watching Game of Thrones. It's a pretty interesting show. It's one that I can kind of listen to it and look up. Kind of getting the characters confused, but we've been watching that at night, and I'll sit and stitch. And it's just hard to stay in sometimes with the beautiful, because here in Georgia it's starting to get summer weather. The days are in the 80s and the nights are in the 60s, 50s. So I mean, it's just the perfect weather. Warm enough for my son to go outside and play during the day and that kind of thing. And I don't know why I'm fiddling with this while I talk, but so it's going to get a little harder, I think, this summer to stitch until it gets just unbearably hot, and then I'll be stitching again a lot more. But that's really everything. And like I said, I've got another video to come probably in the next week, and that'll be just more information to my ask about the Millennium Frame. And just, I love the frame. I absolutely love it. The only thing I don't like about it is that it is so cumbersome and so heavy. I think if I had a smaller stretcher bar set, it'd be a lot easier to handle in hand. It's not this size. It's not one that you can really hold in hand. I had to kind of prop it on a chair on the arm of my chair when I stitch. But I think once I get my lap frame that my dad's making, that'll make it completely different. But the frame itself, I absolutely love. It's not the frame; it's the size that I purchased that was more the issue than the frame itself. I think if it was a little bit shorter, it would be 100% perfect. I do have an issue with getting it on and it's my issue. It's not this issue. I was going to do this in the next video. I'll just go ahead and do it now. With getting the fabric on there straight. And that's me. That's completely me. That's not the fabric or the frame at all. They even tell you how to do it and how to measure, and I just don't measure. But if you look really close, this is probably throwing you off, so I'll pull these off. My fabric's not on there straight. I don't know that it would even be noticeable if it wasn't for the straight lines in this stitching, but they kind of go at an angle. They kind of go up on this side and lower on this side. You can really see in this one right here. And I keep looking. I'm like, am I messing up my stitching? Am I traveling up in my stitches? But I'm not. I'm on where I'm supposed to be. And it seems like I tend to tighten one side more than the other. Like this one sometimes seems like it's standing up more than the other side. I don't know, in order to get it tight. But I don't know. I think that's me and the way I put the fabric on. I don't think that's the frame itself. But I would absolutely recommend this frame. I would absolutely, if you have the money to invest in a frame, and the shipping if you're here in the States. And I would absolutely buy it again. In fact, I'm thinking about for Christmas this year asking for a shorter frame set to where I can just stitch in hand. Because I mean, the cool thing though is once you get these stretcher bars, they do have other stretcher bars, like longer ones. These are the ow, the 10 centimeter, smack myself with a face, 10 centimeter stretcher bars, and they're like I can't imagine using any larger or really any smaller. It's the perfect amount of size. And then these are the 20, I don't even know because it's like by inches. I think it's 10 by 20 in inches. I don't know what it is in centimeters. I just had 10 centimeters. Anyway, it's the standard frame. When you click a frame, it's the one that pops up. It's the default frame. But they've got longer ones of these and shorter ones of these. But once you have these, you can buy the shorter ones of the actual holders and still use it with these stretcher bars and just have the smaller. You don't have to buy several frames. All you have to buy extra of are the fabric holder parts. I don't know, the rails, I don't even know what they call them. But I absolutely love this frame. This is my favorite frame. And I think the only reason I don't use it more often is just because of taking the fabric on and off. It's not a quick setup by any means, but the tension it holds makes up for that. And like I said, I can't just hold it in my hand like I can my Q-snap. My Q-snap's a lot lighter and easier and quicker to set up. But that's really everything for this video. Thanks for watching, and I should be back pretty soon with a small haul on my frame update. Take care. Happy stitching.